Elon Musk had an epiphany about Tesla service, and I really like it. Mainly because I've been having this epiphany as a customer for many years now, and I am glad he is finally maybe coming around to realize that service is important and it does need to be improved. So here's his tweet, and he says, "Just reviewed Tesla service locations in North America and realized we have major gaps in geographical coverage. Sorry for this foolish oversight. Tesla will aim to cover all regions of North America, not just big cities, within 3 to 6 months." Okay, so I live in North America. I live in Sacramento, California. Though the biggest problem that we've had actually in the world with Tesla service, just by seeing the reports, is not in North America. It's actually in Norway, where the number of Teslas like per thousand citizens is pretty high, and they've had some major delays. Now, I have been whining and bitching about the Tesla service for quite some time now. This video doesn't look right at all. Quite some time now, and so let me just go back to this one. And my, as a matter of fact, as you guys know, I'm considering switching from Tesla to Audi e-tron, which I reserved. And I've said that it's not, Audi e-tron is not a much better car than the Model S. As a matter of fact, I would still like Model S, but what I don't really like, among other things, is dealing with Tesla service. Well, having to bring in Tesla service first, and then the way I get treated and how this whole thing works. A lot of it is, by the way, Tesla service used to be amazing. It used to be really good back in 2012, 2013, and as maybe. Let me know if I'm alone here with this notion. If a product is good, if there is a brand that I really like, I don't mind when it breaks down once in a while, and even if it breaks down more often than I would probably prefer. If the brand recognizes that and really tries to make it right and tries to provide good service. That's what Tesla used to do with me, at least, because obviously my original 2012 Model S been breaking down a lot. It was one of the first 3,000 that were made, and the service was great. But lately, in the last few years, really, it's been kind of hard to have the car break down, and I'm on my third now. It keeps happening, and have the service be not so good. So I was willing to forgive him before, and now it's bothering me to the point where I just wanna go. Let me know if that's the case for you. Now, let's talk about Elon's epiphany. Before that, of course, I want to mention this, that this show and this channel is sponsored by Evanex, the aftermarket accessories for Tesla, and their service is pretty good to me. And I've never heard any complaints from the customers. But there is a discount code in the description of this video, so go ahead and grab it, and that way you can save yourselves a few bucks. Okay, back to Tesla service. Now let's talk a little bit about what they have going on right now in North America, in Canada, and the United States. There's a little under 80 locations in the United States, and yes, they're mainly in big cities, which is true. Though I have to say the service centers that I hear that are having the hardest time are the service centers in the bigger cities, where there's just more Teslas, especially in Silicon Valley, especially in California. And because they're so overloaded, and training, they can't always train people properly. They can't always hire best people because the demand is so high and the timeline is so tough that it ends up being not good. Not good at all, and even including loaners. A lot of times I would get loaners that are just like smelly, dirty, has empty bottles of water bottles on the back. It's not good. Now, I'm all for more locations. Maybe I'm even more for locations in the areas where you need it rather than geographically distributed. But I'm also for better training. And maybe, mobile service was something that was genius idea, and they've done really, really, really well. I enjoyed the service. Actually, mobile service has always been good to me. I would love for them to have bigger fleet for that. But in Canada, outside of Toronto area, there's only 4 Tesla service centers in the entire country, right? Besides the Toronto, and I think they have 3 or 4 in Toronto area as well. And so that's a problem, obviously. More service centers would be good, but I think it's not so much need to be spread out, but really cater to where the customers really are. So that is, to me, that is good. Now, The timeline, he said 3 to 6 months, right? Let me bring up the tweet again. He said 3 to 6 months. Okay, that is not realistic. I can just tell you right now. You can't even open a hair salon in that time. And I know because I used to own a hair salon. Whole different story for a whole different channel. But that is something that takes a lot of time because you have to either buy a building or land or lease in a decent area, right? It has to be big, it has to be already kind of in a correct zone. You have to remodel it, build it up, or whatever. You have to hire people, train them, and so forth. It is a process. So 3 months, 6 months. Closer to reality, but definitely not to solve this problem completely. But nevertheless, as long as they're going to be taking care of this and actually paying attention that service is a big deal, I love this. I really like the fact that he's finally paying attention. And I think service is a big part of any product. I know I'm not in a majority, maybe even here, and I would love to hear from you guys if you believe that service is part of the product. Just like I believe Tesla superchargers is part of the product, which is the car technically, but it is a service that being provided along with the car that I think gives them a huge advantage. So let me know if you agree with me. But this is happening. I hope he pays more attention to it. I hope he gets more feedback, and therefore the problem that I've been having and a lot of you guys been having. And by the way, I'm not just speaking for myself. I have 2 Tesla owners group on Facebook, now over 30,000 in memberships. So I see, because I approve every single post there, I see all of the complaints and issues that people are having with Tesla service, though there are quite a few that are having great experience. And once again, I gotta say, most of the positive replies and responses are about Tesla mobile service, which I think is amazing. All right, let me move on quickly to the featured comment. And this one comes from Doc G Spot, which I think was the original name of this channel. I don't know if you guys know, but that's what it was. He says, "Hi Alex, I just hope Tesla doesn't become greedy like Apple. I would never have one if that was the case. Apple used to have great graphics editing machines. Now they're just expensive and stop you from doing anything other than what they say you can do." Now, here's the thing. I think Tesla is becoming kind of Apple in more ways than one, but at the same time, it's just the nature of the beast, as they say, right? First, as a company, you can only make it if your product is as amazing and it's innovative and disruptive. And that's what Apple was and Tesla was in the very beginning, right? And that's how these companies make it. But once they grow, once they become a huge beast, once they have to feed another beast of the stock market, right? Because they're public companies, the game changes. You can't make as many quick decisions and things just don't happen very often. You have problems hiring amazing talent. The talent that you have a lot of times has a lot of other companies going after them, and you become a big fat beast that may not be making the decisions that are always best for the customers because they have to do a lot of other things like satisfy the investors and the stock market and stuff like that. So I don't think it's a Tesla's problem. I think it's just kind of the universe. That's how universe works. So I wouldn't get mad at Tesla for that, but unfortunately, yes, they are not as innovative as they have once been, and this is why I've been a big fan of companies like Byton that are still in the early stages, where they can innovate and can be very creative and disruptive. And that's just, again, if Byton succeeds, I'm sure they will take the same route in another 5 or 6 years, and things will slow down. But that's just it. But thank you for this comment. It's actually a very important comment, and I just wanted to feature it. And once again, guys, feel free to post more of those. I love reading them. Well, not all of them, but I like reading them in the comment section down below. All right, that's pretty much for this topic. I will see you guys next time, and remember to stay charged.